it is to close stuff to the public, you know?
Yeah, that's how delicate like the balance is. And like there are other places for people to be able to go to enjoy things. Like, I'm sure like obviously tourism is a huge portion of Florida's like, revenue, and like for people that want to be involved in wildlife or go and see wildlife, I feel like ecotourism is such a big topic nowadays. Like what are some things that I feel like you see that could be avoided, or like if someone's looking to book, what would you like recommend to look out for?
Everything. So like,
Beware.
It's tough because I've gotten paid to be a host on specials to do ecotourism activities out here. And my job right now is to make sure that there's beautiful habitat for ecotour. Like that's all Florida and South Florida is very big on that, especially down the Florida Keys. But this island I was just talking about that we just got protected for nesting birds, there's a jet ski company that is driving their guides. Their guides are driving people through rafting birds in the water. Hundreds of rafting birds that are resting next to the island for fun. And it's been going on for a really long time. So it's like now as there's only so many, I only have like 3 other coworkers.
Right.
So this is like, okay, now I've got to try and get somebody to go undercover. And I've tried so many times to get their VIN numbers, but like being on a kayak and then like trying to like zoom in with, so it's been a struggle, and trying to, there's going to have to be an undercover officer on a jet ski. But like jet skis are a huge issue to our wildlife. And there are like something like there's an insane amount of captains out here, and I don't know if any of them are a professional wildlife biologist. I do not think that there's a single captain out here that is not to say that like our locals, our old school locals are the shit. If they've been around forever, they know, they've got their spots. They know that they respect these islands. But we've got a lot of other people that are just here to crank out and make money. And there's a lot of those captains out here that are, if you want to go out to an island, and they're probably going out to some of our islands, which they're not legally allowed to, they're doing that. And then now we've got so like, looking at how close they're allowing people to get to nature, is a biggie, and a majority of them, anybody can be an eco tour out here. And I want to say that most of the eco tours out here are not eco tours. It's let's go harass the native wildlife.
Yeah.
So like that's, even all of the dive boats. I went on a dive boat to film, and I was part of a regular tour. And as I was down there was a woman clinging on to the coral, and I'm like,
yeah, don't touch. No touchy.
No touchy the coral. But she was also having trouble just balancing herself, getting equilibrium down there. And when we got back up, I let the guide know. I said, hey, this woman's down there touching the coral.
Right.
He didn't say anything. And then I looked at him like, you gonna say something?
Yeah.
86 or whatever it's called from going back down.
Right.
Like, sorry, lady, we're going to still take your money, but you ain't going back down. You know, so that's the thing, is like when you come down here, majority of your guides are not locals. They're just working somewhere. How much do they really care? This is their job for 6 months, and then they're going to, the Bahamas to do a boat down there or something like that. but
Right.
it's like it's a majority. It's sad. It's a majority.
Yeah.
There are a few, and on my page, I try to share those folks.
Right.
It's not all of them, but there's a good chunk of like, it's just they're allowing people to do so much stuff down here. It's wild. If I could like
the
limit the
intricate,
amount of
like, I feel
people.
like people don't realize the intricacies too of how important, like we were saying before, like one animal, even their poop could be super important. So, and that, like, especially birds, they're such flighty animals, but they are so important to the ecosystem because they have like each such specific roles to play that it is so delicate, and people don't realize, even as something as like even your kayak, which is, I would assume, the most gentle way of exploring, like being able to look at what you do, is still even disturbing them a little bit, So I think that like it's always so hard, right, to try to educate people or to try to put into laws, because you were saying it's like such a fight to even get the research or anything like that. I feel like it's nice that people are now, like, I think it is good to have the internet because people are getting more knowledgeable.
Yeah.
There's always a balance, right? Like between the people that kind of hoard animals or like want to just show off or whatever, and then other people that are like, oh, I didn't think of it that way, or that does bring awareness, or like I'll definitely look to not like do that if I'm traveling or something like
Well,
that.
it's like I love to jet ski. I love to get on a jet ski and fly, and
Right.
I think that I wouldn't know a good chunk of what I'm talking about right now if I wasn't a wildlife biologist. You know,
Right.
I, when I'm a tourist somewhere else, I'm doing the same stuff that these people are doing. Now I won't do it like that because I'm a wildlife biologist now. I've learned, you know, if they're
Yeah.
getting too close to a bird nest, and depending on their stage in life, if they're, something called a branchling, where they haven't learned to fly yet, they're just learning how to, walk on the branches, but they're still really delicate. And if anything freaks them out, they're going to fall in the water and they're going to die because
Right.
they don't know how to fly out of the water yet. Or some birds never touch the water, so it's the stages
Right.
of these animals can really affect them and scare them, or make them now prey items for other animals because you've stressed them out. And then now a hawk saw that mom took off because I scared mom, and now hawk's going to come down and eat that 2-week-old fledgling or
Yeah.
chick or whatever it is. So
Whatever it is. Yeah.
so yeah, it's I don't the everybody's like the public is dumb. You got to think about the public is dumb. So it's like when I'm in which is such a thing to say, like that's such an asshole thing to say. But I roll up in my truck and I see somebody doing something stupid, and I'm like, all right, Christina, find your center, find your center.
Find your center.
Don't yell at them. Don't fly out of the vehicle and yell at them. And I'm like, they don't know. They don't know. But they're
They
gonna
don't
learn.
know.
They're going to learn today. But you're gonna do it in a nice. This is like this is me talking to myself. Guys, do it in a nice, wet manner, and why it's important. And you tell them that they should go and have a lovely day and enjoy the environment. Like,
do you get like have you like changed people's minds